Forbidden Love, A Tale of Loneliness and Longing. Chapter 1. The Lonely Neighbor. 3 years ago, I, Rajesh, lived a solitary life in a small room provided by the shopping mall where I worked. The building was old, with peeling paint and a persistent damp smell, but it was home. The worst part? The water crisis. The taps ran dry until 10 a.m., long after I left for work at 8. Next door lived Kavita, a beautiful 24-year-old woman with sharp, expressive eyes and a smile that lingered in my mind long after she walked away. Her husband, a corporate employee, was often away on business. Kavita and I rarely spoke, just polite nods in the hallway, the occasional "Good morning." Then, one day, everything changed. The water bottle incident. I had just returned from work, exhausted, when I realized I had forgotten to fill my water bottle before leaving. Cursing under my breath, I stepped outside, only to see Kavita standing there, holding my bottle. "You forgot this," she said, handing it to me. I blinked. "You filled it for me?" She shrugged. "I noticed you leave early. The water comes late. It's no trouble." That small act of kindness shifted something between us. From then on, every morning, I left my empty bottle outside my door. Every evening, I returned to find it full. It became our silent ritual. Chapter 2. The Accidental Occasion. One night, I came home late, past 10 p.m. My bottle wasn't outside. I knocked on Kavita's door. "Did you keep my bottle inside?" I called. Her voice floated back soft. "Yes." "Come in and take it." I hesitated. "I'll just change first." A few minutes later I returned, pushing her door open, and froze. Kavita stood in the middle of the room, her back to me, wearing nothing but a thin slip as she changed. My breath caught. She turned. Our eyes locked. I stumbled back, my face burning. I'm sorry." I fled to my room, heart pounding. 5 minutes later, she called me back. "Rajesh," she said, now fully dressed, her voice calm. "It's okay. Just take your water." But that night I couldn't sleep. The image of her, soft skin, dark hair falling over her shoulders, haunted me. Chapter 3. The Market Trip. A week later, Kavita approached me. "Rajesh, I need to go to the market. My husband isn't free. Will you come with me?" My pulse quickened. "Of course." The next afternoon, we met at the gate. She wore a bright yellow kurta, her hair loose. She looked stunning. At the market, she dragged me into a clothing store. "Why stay outside?" she teased. "Come in. What if you need to shop for a girlfriend someday?" I laughed awkwardly. "No girlfriend to shop for." She tilted her head. "What happened?" I hesitated, then confessed, about my ex, how she had cheated, how I hadn't trusted anyone since. Kavita listened, her eyes softening. "Not everyone is the same, Rajesh." Something in her voice made me wonder, was she speaking from experience? Chapter 4. The Confession. That evening, she invited me for dinner. As we ate, her husband called. He was leaving for Delhi for 5 days. After the call, Kavita grew quiet. I asked, "Do you have children?" Her face darkened. "No." I pressed gently. "Do you want them?" Tears welled in her eyes. "My husband, he doesn't have time for me. For anything." My chest ached. As I handed her a glass of water, our fingers touched. The glass slipped, spilling all over her. she gasped, jumping up. I'm so sorry. She laughed shakily. It's fine. I'll change. When she returned, my breath caught. The new dress clung to her curves, the fabric sheer enough to hint at what lay beneath. You look. I swallowed. Beautiful. She smirked. Beautiful enough to be your girlfriend? The air between us crackled. I stepped closer. If I'd met you first, I would have fought for you. Her smile faded. What if my husband finds out? I whispered. He won't. Not unless we want him to. Chapter 5. The Forbidden Night. That night, she asked me to stay. Sleep here, she murmured. I don't want to be alone. The unspoken tension snapped. In the darkness of her room, we crossed a line we could never uncross. By 2 a.m., we lay tangled in sheets, breathless. She turned to me, her voice barely a whisper. Will you regret this tomorrow? I traced her face in the moonlight. Never. The aftermath. The next morning, reality crashed down. Her husband would return in days. We both knew this couldn't last, yet neither of us could let go. As I left her room at dawn, the weight of our secret pressed on my chest. Forbidden love was a double-edged sword, thrilling yet perilous. And so, our story began. Chapter 6. The Secret Affair. The next few weeks passed in a haze of stolen moments. Kavita's husband remained oblivious, his business trips becoming our blessing. We developed a system: subtle knocks on the wall, text messages in code, the way I'd leave my shoes outside my door when it was safe for her to visit. One rainy evening, as thunder rumbled outside, Kavita showed up at my door trembling. He came back early today, she whispered. We had another fight about children. Her eyes were red-rimmed. I pulled her inside, feeling her heartbeat racing against my chest. That night, she confessed everything. He doesn't want children. Says his career comes first. But I'm turning 25 next month. My parents keep asking when we'll start a family. Her voice broke. What kind of marriage is this, Rajesh? We sleep in separate beds most nights. I stroked her hair, unsure what to say. The moral dilemma gnawed at me. Was I helping her escape a bad situation, or was I just another man taking advantage of her vulnerability? Chapter 7. The Close Call. Our recklessness nearly caught up with us one Sunday morning. Kavita had stayed the night when we heard unexpected footsteps in the hallway. We froze as her husband's voice called out. Kavita? You home? She turned pale. I pointed to my tiny bathroom as she scrambled inside silently. My hands shook as I opened the door. Ah, Rajesh, her husband said. Have you seen Kavita? She's not answering her phone. I forced a smile. Maybe she went to the market? I just woke up myself. The lie tasted bitter. He nodded absently, already scrolling through his phone. Right. Tell her to call me when you see her. As he walked away, my knees nearly gave out. When Kavita emerged, we held each other for a long time, both realizing how easily everything could collapse. Chapter 8. The Turning Point. The incident changed us. Kavita became more cautious, while I grew increasingly paranoid. Every creak of the building set my nerves on edge. Yet we couldn't stay away. One evening, as we shared a quiet dinner in my room, Kavita dropped her spoon with a clatter. I can't do this anymore, she said quietly. My heart stopped. Do what? Live like this? She looked up, tears in her eyes. I'm going to ask for a divorce. The words hung between us like a guillotine. Are you sure? I asked carefully. What will your family say? What will? I don't care anymore, she interrupted. But Rajesh, I need to know. If I do this, will you be there for me? I reached for her hand, realizing this was no longer just an affair. Yes, I whispered. However you need me. Chapter 9: The Confrontation. Kavita's confrontation with her husband came sooner than expected. 2 nights later, I heard raised voices through the thin walls. Glass shattered. A door slammed. Then silence. When I dared to check, I found Kavita sitting on the floor outside her room, knees drawn to her chest. He knows, she said hollowly. Not about you, but he found my birth control pills. Accused me of betraying him. I helped her up and into my room. As she trembled against me, I realized the fantasy was over. We were facing the messy reality I'd been avoiding. He's gone to his parents' house, she said. Says he's filing for divorce tomorrow. She looked up at me, vulnerable. What do we do now? Chapter 10: The Aftermath. In the weeks that followed, Kavita moved back to her parents' home while the divorce proceedings began. We kept our relationship secret, meeting in cafes far from our old neighborhood. The guilt weighed heavily on me. Had I taken advantage of her unhappy marriage? Would she regret this decision later? One evening at our usual cafe, Kavita reached across the table and took my hand. Stop overthinking, she said gently, as if reading my mind. This was my choice. My life. But what if? No what ifs, she interrupted. Just be patient with me. This is all new. As I looked into her eyes, no longer sad, but cautiously hopeful, I realized this wasn't an ending, but a fragile new beginning. Our story wasn't the passionate affair I'd imagined, but something more complicated, more real. And perhaps, in time, something more beautiful. Epilogue: 1 year later. The divorce finalized quicker than expected. Kavita's ex-husband, eager to move on with his career, didn't contest it. We waited 6 months before going public with our relationship, enduring whispers and judgment from those who suspected the truth. Now, as I watched Kavita unpack boxes in our new apartment, our first real home together, she catches me staring and smiles. What? Nothing, I say, walking over to wrap my arms around her. Just thinking how lucky I am. She turns in my embrace, her eyes brighter than I ever saw them in those early days. We're both lucky, she corrects me softly. Outside, the first drops of rain begin to fall, washing away the past as we start our new chapter together.